Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry. I'm a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. I forgive the allergies, but we are back with another video today. And I thought this would be cool to check out and hopefully comment and learn on because it is called One Weird Fact About All 45 Presidents of the United States. This channel is Derek Adam Thomas. And of course, the original video is going to be linked down below. Make sure to support it. All right, let's see how weird it gets. All right. I also want to know, what is one weird fact about you? Let's check this out.
May have been the father of our country, but he never fathered any biological children. John Adams was the defense attorney for the 8 British soldiers responsible for killing 5 American colonists in the Boston Massacre. It's fairly well known at this point that Thomas Jefferson had an affair with his slave Sally Hemings, but the lesser known fact is her relation to his wife, Martha Wales. Martha's father was John Wales, who had an affair with Sally Hemings' mother, leading many historians to believe that Jefferson's wife and mistress were half-sisters. He may have been the smallest president we've ever had, standing at just 5.
What? Oh, that was too much connections there. I need to draw it out on a board. Okay, there's weird stuff going on in the Jefferson household. All right, Monticello is messed up, I guess. Interesting fact so far. I actually didn't know Jefferson didn't have any biological kids. That was super interesting. I'm trying to think of, these are going fast. I'm trying to think of, interesting things, that I can't do.
5'4",
so long.
But James Madison was on the second biggest dollar bill ever printed. This is a
framer of the Constitution as well, Mr. Madison. People forget about that a lot.
Famous painting of George Washington. Madison was on the second biggest dollar bill ever printed. This is a famous painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware River. And this is James Monroe. John Quincy.
I did not know that. I did not know that either. If you're an artist, would you put yourself in like in photos? I mean, paintings like this? One that comes to mind is the School of Athens, where Raphael is painting all the great philosophers and achievements of kind of ancient world, and he puts himself in there. I always thought that was like a nod to himself.
In crossing the Delaware River, and this is James Monroe. John
Monroe
Quincy
Doctrine.
Adams.
Talk about Monroe Doctrine, right? Basically said Europe, stay out of the Western Hemisphere.
Won the 1824 election despite losing both the popular vote and the Electoral College. In 1806.
Oh man. All right, y'all. It's a deep question. What needs to change in the electoral system, specifically for presidential elections? Go.
Election despite
isn't John Quincy Adams the shortest president?
Losing both the popular vote and the Electoral College. In 1806, Andrew Jackson challenged Charles Dickinson to a duel. Dickinson shot Jackson in the chest. Jackson, unfazed, raised his pistol and killed Dickinson. Jackson carried that bullet in his chest, as well as another from a different duel, for the rest of his life.
Jackson.
Martin.
There was a video he did recently. It was the Teddy Roosevelt one, and it's just like duels and assassinations and all stuff is just like, it was just the norm. And I asked a poll question too: should duels be legalized today? Should you be able to legally duel? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was that story, but I remember hearing about a Jackson story where somebody had come up to try to kill him and his gun jammed, and then Jackson came at him with his cane and beat him to an inch of his life. He had a lot of haters and a lot of supporters.
Van Buren had a New York gang named after him in the sitcom Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah, Van Buren.
I'm taking on the entire Van Buren boys.
Oh, you do 8.
Van Buren
you
boys.
Hold up the sign.
There's a street gang named after President Martin Van Buren.
William Henry Harrison was alleged.
Yeah, I remember that episode. You have to hold up. I forget how he does it, but you have to hold up an 8. I don't know if it's 4-4, like that. It might be like this. If I can see. Oh, I love Seinfeld.
Cursed by an American Indian, which, legend has it, led to his death and the deaths of 6 other sitting presidents. John Tyler was born in 1790 and still, as of this recording 230 years later, has 2 living grandsons. James K. Polk.
So crazy because he had kids super late, and then that's how you have it. And then somebody else super late. It's absurd. Did you hear that again? Rewind it if you need to, but absolutely crazy. All right, Polk, Mr. Manifest Destiny himself. Not talked a lot about, but also pretty much added, a third of the current continental United States by provoking a war with Mexico, with Mexican-American War, which took away basically a third of their country.
Polk decided not to run for re-election in 1848 and died of cholera 3 months after leaving office. Zachary Taylor did run for president in 1848.
Oregon
2
Trail.
years later, he got sick from eating cherries and milk at a 4th of July celebration and died 5 days later. Some speculate that he was poisoned. Millard Fillmore personally
cherries?
fought a fire that was overtaking the Library of Congress. Franklin Pierce is widely regarded as the hottest president. James Buchanan may
Is that true? Who's saying that? Was that said back then? Is there an official analysis? All right, everybody down in the comments. Most attractive president, go.
have been gay. Abraham Lincoln's favorite as the hottest president. James Buchanan may have been gay. Abraham Lincoln
Then just stops. Okay. Well, they say that about Abraham Lincoln too.
Lincoln's favorite food was oysters. Andrew
Ew.
Johnson never went to school. Ulysses S. Grant was supposed to be at Ford's
Andrew Johnson, one of the most disliked presidents ever. All right, total a political hire, and definitely not one I think that Lincoln would have actually wanted to succeed him, helped him in the election and everything because he's a Southerner, but like not the guy that they would have, Lincoln would not have wanted to handle Reconstruction. All right, Grant, what we got?
Andrew Johnson never went to school. Ulysses
Who
S.
needs
Grant
school? You can
was
be
supposed to be at Ford's Theater with Lincoln the night he was shot.
I did not know that.
But his wife despised Mary Todd Lincoln, and Grant didn't particularly want to go, possibly saving his life.
Thanks, Mrs.
Rutherford
Grant.
B. Hayes owned the first Siamese cat in America and named him Siam. After James Garfield was shot, Alexander
Cool, bro.
Graham Bell tried to use a makeshift metal detector to find the bullet in Garfield's abdomen. Chester Alan Arthur
Then the magnet's so it's so magnetic it just rips it out of him, and then he died. Oh, Chester.
makeshift metal detector to
got
find
some
the
sweet
bullet
facial hair.
in Garfield's abdomen. Chester Alan Arthur chose to pronounce his middle name with the emphasis on the second syllable, so he was actually Chester Allen Arthur. Grover Cleveland was both the 22nd and 24th president. Benjamin Harrison was
Only
the
president do that. You have a president's run, later on, but yeah.
last American president with a beard. William McKinley had a pet parrot named Washington Post. While running for a third term as president on a third-party
gossiped up,
ticket,
assassinated.
Theodore Roosevelt was shot while giving a speech in Milwaukee. The bullet lodged itself near his ribs, where it would remain for the rest of his life. But Roosevelt finished the
Continued
speech.
the speech.
There's a popular
And then he was like, after like, but I mean, it hurt pretty bad, but in those days, sometimes like doing that, they think, removing it could, the process of it, the surgical procedure could make things worse, so they did that back then. Also, I think it should be known that Teddy was also the youngest president.
myth that William Howard Taft got stuck in a bathtub
I
while
heard
he
that's
was
not
president. There's no real evidence that that actually happened, but Taft did get stuck in a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court after being president, the only president to do so. Woodrow
That is interesting to see that you get him coming out of a president's actually coming out of the judicial system. Because usually, the Supreme Court, you're appointed by a president there. I just want to hold on to the bathtub story. I just want to do it. Okay. Just let me have that. Same with Teddy Roosevelt riding a moose. All right. I want all the myths. All right. Here in come the Wilson hate.
to the Supreme Court after being president, the only president to do so. Woodrow Wilson kept a flock of sheep on the White House lawn. In 2014, letters between
pretty
Warren
weird.
Harding and one of his mistresses were released to the public, revealing that Harding used Jerry as a code name for his penis. Calvin Coolidge was known as
I did not know that. Oh no, all the US history nerds that are watching this, y'all are gonna start doing it, huh? You're gonna start calling it the Jerry.
Silent Cow as a code name for his penis. Calvin Coolidge was known as Silent Cow. Legend has it that during a dinner party, a woman bet him that she could get at least 3 words from him during the evening.
Oh, wasn't it something funny?
At the end of a silent night, Coolidge turned to her and said, "You lose." Herbert Hoover was a Quaker. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was married
Wait, Hoover, what? I was processing the Coolidge quote because yeah, he lost. It was only 2 words.
You lose.
That's pretty smart.
Herbert Hoover was a Quaker. Franklin
Oh,
Delano
okay.
Roosevelt
They were, Quakers, very much descendants of some of the early, like, kind of Puritan strand of religious refugees, as they'd probably call themselves, coming out of England there. All right, FDR, man, he was There's plenty of stuff we can talk about.
You
with him, so.
lose. Herbert Hoover was a Quaker. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was married to Anna Eleanor, the niece and goddaughter of then President Theodore Roosevelt. Oh, and she was also his fifth cousin. Harry S. Truman's
They are loosely related, so I mean it's pretty far though. I mean, a fifth cousin.
President Theodore Roosevelt. Oh, and
Does
she
he get
was
a pass? Does he get a pass on the incest?
also his
I
fifth
guess?
cousin. Harry S. Truman's parents could not decide whether his middle name should be Solomon or Ship, so they compromised and had the S stand for
Shipperman.
nothing. Dwight D. Eisenhower banned squirrels from the White House lawn.
Good.
He had Secret Service catch them and release them into Rock Creek Park so that they wouldn't damage his putting green. The average person can read 250 to 300 words per minute. John F. Kennedy could reportedly read 1,200 words per minute. Lyndon B.
I was hoping secretly that it just, not because it's Kennedy, but just it would be like a third of that. All right, LBJ.
John F. Kennedy could reportedly read
kill
1,200 words per minute. Lyndon
what the
B.
comment
Johnson
section
started
said.
his career as a teacher. In order to make ends meet on a Great Depression era teacher's salary, Johnson also worked as the school's janitor. Richard Nixon was a Quaker. Gerald Ford was
Another
a model.
Quaker.
Jimmy Carter swears that he
And a college football player.
Nixon was a Quaker.
No.
Gerald Ford was a model. Jimmy Carter swears that he saw a UFO. Ronald Reagan was an actor and was almost strangled to death by a chimp while filming 1951's Bedtime for Bonzo. George H.W. Bush celebrated his 85th birthday by skydiving. In 2012,
He's
while
90s
appearing
when
on
he died, too.
NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, Bill Clinton correctly answered 3 trivia questions about the television show My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. George W. Bush
Oh no, he's a brony. Is that what he is? Is Clinton a brony? Anyone know? Oh gosh. And then what are aren't there like these guys that they buy Ford Mustangs and then paint them all like My Little Pony stuff? Isn't that some weird thing people have?
Bush owned the Texas Rangers and infamously facilitated the trade of Sammy Sosa. David Beckham gave Barack Obama 50 pairs of boxer briefs. Donald Trump may have bathmophobia, which is an irrational fear of stairs. Know any more weird facts about presidents? Leave them in the comments. If you like this video, be sure.
I mean, I don't love stairs. There's a lot that can go wrong. All right, final thoughts. All right, well, that was pretty fun to check out some of those. Check out a bunch of those I didn't know. And then hopefully you got, a little bit from me adding some other things to them. But I don't know, which do you think is the weirdest? What's the weirdest that they said there? I also want to know, what's your weird quirk? So if you're going to end up being president and they make another video, what's going to be your weird thing that they're going to ask you? Or they're going to bring up about you. Hopefully it's not something that disqualifies you. All right, y'all. Hey, thanks for checking out this fun little one. Yet, if you want to check out the original, please do go down below. His subscriber count should be a lot higher for making good videos, fun videos like this. So, all right, with that, y'all, we'll see you next time.